together. This is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day.
And a very special day it is. It's a terrific Tuesday. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning, and actually sponsoring the program this morning, AFP, Americans for Prosperity, Angel Purlee. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. And by phone, we're so happy to have our own clerk. We have Stephanie Rockey with us. Good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Happy Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Tidbit and nippy, but we're going to warm up today. This is going to be good, right?
Yeah, we got a week to go before the big election. So.
Yeah, the dance has started, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's take our sponsors this morning.
All right, we got Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Americans for Prosperity, Fantastic Sam's, Fox Purlee Wealth Management, and Po' Boys Barbecue.
Yum. Sounds good. All right, thanks to our great sponsors. Today is the 25th day of April. Today is DNA Day. DNA Day.
DNA.
Yeah. Do your DNA.
For a second, I thought you said D and A, but it's DNA.
Yeah.
Maybe I did say that. DNA. Yeah. So, have you checked your DNA, Stephanie or Angel?
I have not.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Who you got any claim to fame that you relate to?
Nobody really famous, but it is interesting to see how it all, I call it spider webs out.
Yeah.
That's a good way of
And
putting
then
it.
you get a ping that says, hey, you got somebody close to you, you know.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
it's neat to do all that research.
Yeah.
Especially when it's at your fingertips now.
Absolutely. I found out.
We
Yeah.
take field trips and travel through Washington County and go to all the different cemeteries and go to the John Hay Center and do the genealogy research, boots on the ground type stuff.
You do that, or you do that with your family, or?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my mom was real big into the Myers, which were related to the Myers here in Washington County, and so she went all the way back. And that took a lot of research. I mean, you got to go to all the different libraries and historical societies, and then we would take trips to go out to different farms.
Oh, wow.
Where there's different cemeteries.
Well, that's awesome.
Well, no, that's really fun. That's really neat. That's really cool. You know, we're looking for something to do.
It's really interesting because the original Myers homestead was on Dutch Creek. So I remember tramping through that area as a kid, and then later on as an adult. So.
Well, very interesting for sure. All right, this is also, which I found out, I'm related, which would make Angel related to Pocahontas, Abe Lincoln.
Oh my goodness.
And of course, we've known for a long time Davy Crockett. So, yeah. So that's why we feel so good in the wilderness, I guess. That's why we're always running in the wilderness. I don't know.
The outdoors is calling our names at all times.
Always. All right, this is also East Meets West Day. East Meets West Day.
I don't know if I understand that.
I don't know about that. But we all know this one, Hairstylist Appreciation Day.
Yes. Ooh, yes.
Thank goodness for them, right? International Financial Independence Awareness Day.
That's a good one. You don't want to rely on somebody financially in case something happens.
All right. National Crayola Day. Crayola Crayon?
Crayola.
And there's nothing like a fresh box of Crayola crayon.
That's what, did you, in school, you know, the whole big thing was to get, what was it, the 64 pack. You were cool if you had the 64 pack. But
I remember I got one for my birthday with the eraser and not the eraser,
the
but
sharpener?
The sharpener in the back.
Oh man, Stephanie, that was a hot item.
That was.
You were the cool kid. I always got that regular 8-pack.
We were on a budget, Stephanie.
I got that 8-pack. I got whatever the list called for, nothing
cool
more.
Until it, they didn't think that through as far as Crayola. So when the bottom lid fell down and all the sharpening, you know, all the residue of the crayons,
the shavings,
were not the teacher's favorite at that point because it made a huge mess.
That's
like
funny.
Crayola crayon confetti that would explode out of the bottom. So.
That is great. That is great. So what's your favorite color in a Crayola box, Stephanie?
I would think a good, sharp, fuchsia, hot pink.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
right,
Probably.
you
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. Black.
Black.
No, I don't know. I was thinking the other day what I thought my favorite color was, and I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe all of them.
All the
You
colors,
get
I
that.
guess.
She gets that honestly, because I like.
I mean, I used to really not care for pink, and then I had a little girl, and now I'm just like loving pink these days.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. This is also, here we go, girls. It's the Mani Petty Day.
Hey, I'm here for that.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too. Ready for that.
Our hairstylist, Manny Petty, it's not coincidental, let me tell you. I need all of that
We
in
need a
my life
makeover
today.
From head to toe here.
We should get our hair done, a mani-pedi, and get a good box of Crayola crayons and just sit there and do adult coloring book.
I
There
love
it is.
that.
Talk about a banner day.
Best day ever.
That's right.
Make sure that our nails are dry too, right? This is also National Plumbers Day. Hats off to all those plumbers out there that come and save the day, right?
Yes.
All right, National Telephone Day. Boy,
Oh.
telephones have changed. You know, the landlines, you don't see as many landlines as you do now the cell phones, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen where landlines come into play to be super helpful when the oh, you can't reach me on my cell phone. Oh, you don't have service or something. Some people, I think, still do have landlines though because they don't have service. So
Yeah.
I get
National
it.
Zucchini Bread Day. Stephanie, like zucchini bread?
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I love making it, then I freeze it, and then give it out for Christmas presents.
Ooh.
I don't know if I've ever had it.
So good, so good.
I love zucchini though, so I can imagine that I'd love
Yeah,
zucchini
it's
bread.
Delicious. Red Hat Society. Boy, they know how to have fun. Some of the,
Yeah, they do.
Those red hat ladies. I've seen them in action. School Bus Drivers Day. Hats off to all of our school bus
Oh,
drivers.
my goodness gracious, yes.
Talk about a job, right?
That's right. We were watching them today. The boys were watching out the window, watching the school bus drivers picking up the kids.
We talk about all that multitasking that they have to do, you know? We need to give them a shout out and applause and hats off to them.
Yeah.
This is also World Penguin Day.
Oh.
They have a great. I've been to a great penguin exhibit in St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's amazing. They just let them free range.
Free range penguins.
Yeah, you walk in, it's super cold, and they're jumping in, and you get wet, and they're just wandering around. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool.
All right, well, hats off to them. Get out and enjoy for sure. All right, Stephanie. So we are moving right along here, almost in April, and we'll be jumping in May. But and we're getting ready for the big dance, or I guess if you want to call it, it's like we just had the prom this weekend for Salem, and now we're going to be. You talk about like a big prom that you're putting together, right?
Yeah.
Although a little more
Yes,
important than
I
prom.
would call it a big event that nobody RSVPs to, so you don't know how much. So when it comes to the ballot, it's like, oh my gosh, how much do we need? And
Yeah, true. So
I'm
let's
gonna
go.
tell you, not enough
lot of
people
planning.
RSVP.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have a lot. But let's go back over. Let's start back. When did we first start with this? And let's kind of give the legwork of all of this, because this started months ago, and when the machine and like you said, ordering the papers and kind of fill us in about how the road to election is. Give us the road to election.
yeah, so the road of elections is never ending. So everybody always thinks, oh, we might have a down year, or we just flip the lights on the day of the election and take off. But literally, it's an ongoing process every day that we are working on the voter roll for the county. And then the actual candidate filing started back in January. So once the filing deadline and the withdrawal deadline passes, then you start working on the ballots. So this year it's a little bit different, actually statewide, and especially for our county, we've kind of made some history here that it's a Republican ballot only that's offered, because once we certify all the candidate filings and look and see what races we have, there was only one Democratic candidate that filed for one office, so there was no contested races. So the county election board decided just to have, like other counties have been doing, depending on what their status is to just have a Republican ballot only offered. So that we're under contract with the city of Salem to put on their elections. So we felt it was best, because everything costs money and everybody's budgets are tight post-pandemic. So we decided to go ahead and save money because the outcome was going to be exactly the same. And when it comes to the outcome of that race on the Democratic side, so we made a tough decision, and it wasn't the most popular decision with everybody, but you can't make everybody happy. But we went ahead and did the Republican ballot only. So
and let's go back over. That did save money, right? That did save quite a bit of money.
Oh yes, I mean, because you got to look at not only per ballot that's built. There's a lot that goes behind the scenes as far as building the ballot, as far as programming the machines, certifying the machines. So there's a lot of cost involved just to produce that ballot and then to have that ballot read on election day in the machines. So, I mean, it was quite a savings. And so once those ballots are built, then, of course, early voting starts. It started at the first part of April, and then it will continue on till noon on May 1st, which is the day before the election. And then, of course, Election Day, the poll, it's going to be at the Salem Armory at 1100 North Shelby Street for Salem 1 through 4 precincts. And so it'll be open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And so elections is an ever-changing world. So the voter turnout so far on the early voting, that is our walk-ins here at the office and mail-in ballots, it's been low. We're hovering a little bit over 1% right now. So there's about 4,320, give or take, without looking at my report, registered voters total in the city of Salem. And so far, 54 of those voters have turned out. So I'm hoping everybody turns out on Election Day then. I mean, this is there are some contested races. There's the mayor's race for the primary, and also City Council District 4 is contested. So, I mean, every vote counts when your numbers are this low.
100%.
So let's go back over. Okay, so of course, like you said, doing this is history making. Going with this, and of course, this. I mean, if you're going to save money, I think everybody's for saving money when you can kind of, when you can. But let's go back over. Okay, so let's say that if a person, let's kind of explain everything, because I've had people ask me, and you're the expert on this, not me. But if they are a registered Democrat and they choose,
they don't register.
Or I mean, but if they are, like if they are normally a Democrat, okay, and they want to vote in this, they will vote Republican, correct?
Correct, and there's always some misconceptions. So
yes, explain all that.
Indiana, so some of our neighboring states, you have to declare your party prior to the primary, but in the state of Indiana, it's a non-declaring state, so you do not declare your party and have to vote exactly that way. The only time, Republican or Democrat is associated is based on the ballot that you pull in a primary. Now, in this case, where we are offering a Republican ballot only, so it's up to the voter to choose if they want to go ahead and vote on a Republican ballot. If they don't even want to be associated with that ballot, it's up to them. They can choose not to vote in this primary election, or if they want to vote because their vote history as far as actually exercising their right to vote, and they want to do a Republican ballot, they can. And that shows it in their voting history that, hey, they did vote in the primary. I've had some concerns come up and questions regarding challenging. Now, and I've already checked with the state because I always do my homework, but I checked with the state, and even if somebody tries to challenge you, like a fellow voter, and the whole time I've been doing elections with the county, we've not had this instance, but that form is available at the polling locations. But if they get challenged, they didn't have any other option as far as that voter. They wanted to exercise their right to vote. We only offered a Republican ballot only, so that challenge would not be upheld because of the simple fact that they couldn't have a Democratic ballot. So I know it is confusing for folks, but if you're wanting, however you want to vote, it's strictly up to you, exercising your right to vote. But there will be a Republican ballot only offered.
Right. I just want to make sure, I don't want anybody to get to the polls and be confused, and then the poll workers, because they, we've got to protect them and make sure that everybody's informed before they get to the polls.
Yes, and we go over that on poll worker training that will be this Saturday. We're going to go over all that, different scenarios with the poll workers and everything. Because it does get confusing. So if say for instance, if you were associated with the Democratic Party, you came in, you wanted to exercise your right to vote, regardless of how your party, and you pulled a Republican ballot because that's the only ballot that's offered. It's not going to make you not be a Democrat at that point, because that's the only ballot that was offered for this primary. But it's strictly based on how the voter wants to exercise their right to vote. Some voters will be like, no, I'm never even going to touch a Republican ballot, and they might not vote in the primary. That's okay, because in the general, you will have a ballot that will have Republican, Democrats, Libertarians, everybody on it. So you're not going to lose your voting rights if you do not vote in the primary. But everybody is passionate how they feel when it comes to voting, and so they have options.
Right. And I think you bring up a good point, and I remember learning that let's go back to even in high school, talking about that just because you don't vote in the primary does not mean you can't vote in the general, but this primary, this is the first leg. You've got to get over this hurdle before you can, if you have a person that you want to see in office, you got to get them over that hurdle before you can go on.
Right. So I look at it as, don't mean to bring horse racing into it, but we're so close to that next week. But, as you come out of the gate, it's, like right now, it's the Republicans running. We have a contested mayor's race and a contested District 4 race. And they're running around, the track, and then once they get off to the halfway point, then the other ones, that will be the general, and it will be the Libertarians and the Democrats. So at that point, whoever's winning off the Republican ballot, then they will join the rest of them and then go into the general, the finish line. So yeah, I mean, I want to give everybody the option to exercise their right to vote. But this is different, and a lot of people don't like change. And I've talked to fellow clerks throughout the state, and some of them didn't have no contested races or not even having a primary.
Oh wow!
And that's the landscape of elections that we're in now. I don't know if everybody's just overlooking municipal elections and looking at 2024, or we're just losing a lot of servant leaders. Because this is not always, being elected official is not always the most glamorous, thing to do. But I would love to see contested races. Every office, I love it to see contested. That means there's passion out there for your community. So yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a sad
disappointing
sign.
as an election administrator to see uncontested races, or somebody having to be talked into running for an office. So yeah, so I'm hoping, of course, with the general, we'll have more filings coming up, a filing period, and they can fill some ballot vacancies.
Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so so we'll do the primary, okay, and we're set, locked and loaded for the primary. Then whenever it comes to the general, in between that, there could be different filings from the Democrat side and from the Libertarian and from write-ins, right?
Right. Well, actually, like the Libertarians, they have already filed. So there are some that have already filed to run for office for the general because their filing period is a little bit different. But yeah, those ballot vacancies on the Democratic side, they can fill those. The party can fill those vacancies for them. So,
Okay, so
I'm hoping to have a full ballot because whether I have a couple on there or not, it's still going to cost the same. Well, I want to get my money's worth.
well, sure. I mean, and I think everybody. I think that's good that you're like that, and we want you to be like that. That's awesome. You know, because how much? I can't remember every sheet or every. How much is it? It's how many cents is it?
Yeah, so we're 100% paper only county. So it is 30 cents, and I've locked that in because we have a good working relationship with Harp Enterprises out of Lexington, Kentucky, our vendor. So that's locked in. But I mean, you're talking also the programming of the machines, building the ballot. That's behind the scenes where it, you know, we build the ballot, lay it out, they produce it. So there's a lot of behind the scenes programming that goes into it, as well as, of course, purchasing the envelopes, which are multiple envelopes per ballot packet. And then we can provide, if you do the mail-in, you know, there's postage that's involved that we're required by law to put postage on the return envelope. So there's a lot of nickel and dimes, I guess you could say, that goes into the votes and everything. So
now, I don't think everybody realizes it. That's why I wanted to bring to attention that it's 30 cents, you know, per sheet there. So, you know, that adds
and
up.
so when I go to order them, we have a formula that we kind of work off of, and I'm like, you know, because you're literally, if you think about having a big event and trying to purchase all the food, but you don't know how many people are going to show up.
Right.
So the worst thing you can ever do is run out of ballots. You never want to run out of ballots on Election Day, especially when you're 100% paper-only county.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always nerve-wracking when you go to order the ballots and you look back at history of the voter turnout and what the current turnout is. So, yeah, so you don't want to have to order emergency ballots and have to meet them halfway from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're paying triple the amount per ballot.
Right, for sure. So then, so right now in the primary, I'm making sure that every angle. If anybody has any questions, and of course, I know you're very accessible. I know your office, everybody there is very kind and very nice and can explain any of this. But I just thought we could help get some of this explained this morning. So right now in the primary, we have this is completely Republicans, and we have Republican for the mayor. Then and then for the district, was it 4?
District 4.
Yeah, District 4. So those are again Republican, but in the actual general, we could have someone add their name, a Democrat or like you said, a Libertarian. I think is already going to be there, and then maybe even a write-in in the general election, right?
Yeah. So
okay.
So the ticket will be hopefully full, meaning the ballot for the general election. So, but yeah, so this is a Republican ballot only primary that's going to be offered. So when you get to the polls, it's only going to be a Republican ballot only. You can exercise your right to vote, you know, regardless of your party. It's not going to change. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah.
I think we're trying to just cover everything. I'm trying to think of any question that I've been asked, and I'm like, so I really wanted to just kind of go over that this morning. And I appreciate you taking time with us, Stephanie. So let's go over. Okay, so then it's at the Armory, and it's from Salem 1 through 4. And if anybody's confused at where they live or if they are to vote, they can call your office, right?
Oh yes. You can call our office at 812-883-5748, or you can also get on IndianaVoters.com. Can go into your voter portal and look at your information, and it's interactive, so you can see who's on the ballot, and that's helpful as well. And we also have sample ballots here, but definitely if you're uncertain, you can give us a call. But once you get to your polling location, which will be the Salem Armory, since we are E-Pobook County, then it will you just log into your the e-poll book there, and they will direct you, give your ballot to you, and then you can proceed on to what we call the Franklin booth and fill in your ballot, and then take it over to the scanner, and it will scan your ballot.
You also have a map there too that is accessible whenever you go in the armory.
Yeah, and some of we've notified those voters, but some of their their precinct has changed based on City of Salem had to do some redistricting based on the census and also some annexations that they had done. And so some of those polling precincts, the borders of them have changed just a little bit. But those voters have been notified if their precinct had changed.
Okay. And also, don't forget to bring your ID.
Yes. Please bring your photo ID. Yes. That's always a must. And if you always say, I don't care if the poll worker is your mother, you're going to still show your ID. Or if you go to church with them or you know them, they're still going to ask for your ID. That's just the law.
That's right.
For Pete's sake, Mom, you gave birth to me, right? Don't use that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to make sure we bring our voter ID, and then let's talk about, you have 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and if they're in the line, how does that work?
Okay, so on election day, we will send out an inspector to the end of the line.
Okay.
And so then if someone pulls in at 6:02 and tries to get in line, polls close at 6. So 6 p.m. sharp, they will go out and stand behind the last person in line, and then that's the cutoff. So if you're in line already by 6, you get to vote. But once the poll worker goes out there and cuts that line off, if you roll in at 6:05, sorry about it. You've had plenty enough time to vote. We give plenty enough options. It's 28 days prior to election day, the 2 Saturdays prior to election, and of course 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day.
Right. Well, I said you pretty well spoon feed us. You know what I mean? I think there's all kinds of ways, and years ago we didn't have that many ways, and now, I mean, you've opened up quite a bit where there's all kinds of ways to make sure that you get a vote. And, it's so important to get out and vote. And I know as a clerk that probably just, really is a joy whenever you see a huge turnout, right? I mean, so it really,
we would love to have a huge turnout, because basically we're doing the same amount of work whether the turnout's low or it's high, as far as the prep.
Yeah.
I mean, we're prepping the same. So we definitely, we want a high turnout. So I'm hoping, we have a few more days here in office for early voting, which is 8 to noon, and then 1 to 4. And then we'll be here again this Saturday, 8 to noon. And then on Monday, we're here 8 to noon. And then, of course, you have election day. So I would love to see, more people come out and vote, and, of course, on election day. Because there's over 4,000 registered voters in the city of Salem. So I'm hoping
so
with
we
these
need
low
4,000 ballots
early voting, that they're waiting till election day.
Yeah. Stephanie, would you about faint if you had 4,000? What if we had 4,000 come out today for this election? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be, all those registered voters are exercising their right to vote. They're not taking it for granted that they have those rights,
Yeah.
So that would be amazing.
Right. Well, that's the ultimate. That would be fantastic. But anyway, we know probably not the case, but I do want to say that if anybody feels like they're not going to be able to make it that Tuesday, then do it early, right? If you feel like there might be a conflict or something, then it's better to be, I guess proactive and be prepared and be ready than to, wait or, and then not be able to vote.
Right.
Yeah. So then going back then, okay, so the polls close at 6 p.m. and then, I guess you're kind of predicting that it'll be pretty fast, the results?
Yeah. I mean, it should be, we're pretty quick. I think back in 2019, we were out of here, think I got everything put into the system and everything a little bit after 9 o'clock. So definitely, I mean, polls close at 6. Once they get everything, they should be pretty fast on getting in here as far as the inspector and the opposite party judge. So getting in here and getting those read, and then, of course, you and the paper will be in there waiting for the results, and we plan on having Superior Court room open and having the results and having everybody gather and find out who the winners are.
Right, and it's exciting to have the courtroom open now. I mean, you know, for a little while there, you know, we couldn't do it with the COVID and everything, and you know, things had changed a little bit, but it's going to be exciting to do that for some that likes the tradition to do that.
Oh, most definitely, and it's, you know, I always call, you know, running for office is the longest, most hardest job interview you'll ever go on.
Right.
So, you know, it's just nice to see everybody excited and the anticipation, and you know, so it's always exciting, you know, to get the results and release them. And
I think most of the candidates are really tired too, don't you?
Oh, they are, but I think they're like us, you know. We usually we're up at 3 a.m. We get in here, you know, a little after 4, and it's a long day for us. But, you know, then we get that burst of energy,
Yeah.
you know, right when it's almost showtime, you know, right? That's probably about 5 o'clock in the evening. Then we start getting this burst of energy, like, okay, let's get everything set up, ready for the poll workers to start coming in after they close the polls. So we just get this big old burst of energy, you know. And so it's exciting.
For sure. Well, we want to remind everybody that it's right around the river bend. It'll be here before we know it. Election Day, May the 2nd.
1 week.
I know, isn't that crazy? It's a week
Yeah.
from today, actually. Yeah. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., right?
Yes, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. next Tuesday.
Okay.
The Salem Armory.
Yeah. Everyone be there. It's a date, right? Everybody come out.
4,000 of you. Only though.
Yeah. All 4,000, right?
Yeah, come on.
Yes, that would be great. Well, Stephanie, I know your team, and I know you work very hard at this, and we want to say thank you for all that you do. And I know that I came, it's been maybe a month ago, I don't even know, time goes by so fast, and I know you were getting the machines all checked out, and they were getting all the, you know, to make sure everything was running, the bells and the whistles all taken care of. And I know that everything's set in place, and now we just wait till the 2nd, right?
Yeah, so that was our public test. So we do like a little mini election, and then once everything passes, we have to submit everything to the state, and then of course they're programmed, certified, and locked down, so they can't be tampered with or anything. So.
Right. Well, it's exciting for sure. Can't wait, and we'll have the coverage there. You know, we'll be there for sure with the election coverage as the results come in, and of course it'll probably be a quick one, I'm sure, with since it is just the for the primary. It looks like probably a quick night, but we'll see and pray everything goes good. And of course you've got all of your poll workers, right? Everybody in place. And
Yes. Yeah, so there's a few stragglers, but they're all getting, those precinct committeemen are finishing up and getting everything in line then.
yeah. Well, they have quite a bit. I mean, they've got to get up early and and make sure they're ready to go, right? It's a long day for them.
It is a long day for them, and poll workers across the state, they're hard to come by. So I want to start recruiting as soon as this election's over with. I want to start recruiting for 2024. Because if it's anything like 2020, look out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is paid. Some people need to remember that.
Yeah.
Yes, it is paid, and we feed you well, and you get snacks.
Paid and
we always try to bribe them with food. You get 3 good meals,
That's nice.
Yeah, and those meals are good. Yeah, that's some good cooking for sure.
I've worked the polls before. It's not bad at all. It's great.
Yeah.
And if you're busy, it goes by fast.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't remember
does,
sitting there and being bored, really.
Yeah, and we've had rave reviews about the e-poll books, so the poll clerks love those. So it makes things a lot simpler. And, of course, we love them as well.
For sure. Well, it's definitely an exciting time, a fun time, and of course we'll get our election done, then we'll get ready for the Derby, right?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much. Again, let's give your
Thank you.
location and your phone number if anybody wants to come and do some early voting, or if they want to call and get any questions that we might not have covered. We tried to get everything covered this morning.
Yes, so those registered voters in Salem 1 through 4, if they want to early vote, we are here 8 to noon and 1 to 4 for the rest of this week. And then this Saturday, we're going to be here 8 to noon. And then again on Monday, 8 to noon. And then, of course, Election Day is 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that is going to be on Shelby Street at the Salem Armory. But we are located in the front of the Washington County Justice Center. The Election Voter Services office is at the end of the hallway, and we're at 801 South Jackson Street. And you can call our office at 812-883-5748 if you have any questions, or if you want to check which precinct you're registered in. And you can also go to indianavoters.com. That's a state website as well.
All right, fantastic.
So
Well,
come on out and vote.
get out and vote.
Right.
Get out and vote. I need to be playing that promo for sure. So encourage
Yes.
everyone. Stephanie, keep up the great work. Stephanie, Rockey, and your team, tell them all good morning and hi, and keep up the great work. We'll keep encouraging it, and encouraging everyone to get out and vote. And this does matter. This is our local races. They matter. They're the ones making decisions, and this is where we want to make sure that everyone gets out and votes.
Day to
Well,
day.
and I always say if you don't exercise your right to vote, you can't gripe.
Right. There you go.
So
Yeah.
so 54 people have exercised their right to vote so far out of 4,000.
So what we need to warn people is there's only 54
something, so,
people complaining.
That's right.
There's a lot of people out there either waiting to the last minute or going to come out on Election Day. So
We're going to open the Bucky chute and get them out, okay?
something. Come on.
All right, Stephanie, keep up the great work. Thanks for taking time for
Okay.
us this morning.
Thank
All right,
you.
Have a great Tuesday, hon, okay?
You too. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, Stephanie.
All right, fantastic. And, you think about a week away and from the big, the big dance, the big, big event and all the prep work that goes on. And I like to show that there's a lot of work that going on, getting ready, and 30 cents per ballot. That's quite a bit. When you add it up that many, 30 cents adds up quickly.
I thought you were going to share with us what.
No,
Let's see here.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're
possible,
taking,
let's say 4,000. Let's say 4,000.
let's say 4,000. So if you're
There you
taking
go.
4,000,
I can't get a pen that works over here, so
$1,200.
yeah. That's just for that. That's just for the paper. That's just for the paper that they're using. That's not to
That's a
mention
lot of paper.
all the other paper.
Well, let me just tell you this, and it's very important, and I think that a lot of people kind of, I'm not voting, but like, because you don't want to go in, but there's a lot of people that fought for us to vote.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it goes more than just, I'm not going to vote today because I don't feel like it. Well, I mean, it's a lot. It means a lot more. And I think that, you don't overlook the primaries, don't overlook the municipal races. I think that people do that. I think the data shows that people do that. And I think that's sad. And then, like as Stephanie says, Autumn says it all the time, then they shouldn't complain. But they do.
Yeah, they do.
But they do. And it's like, well, guess what? It takes you 5 minutes to walk in that armory and make that vote.
Mm-hmm.
I
Can
mean,
you get a little sticker that says I voted?
yeah. I mean, go in there and get that sticker.
It's always exciting.
Go earn that sticker.
That's
Your
right.
ancestors fought for you to have that sticker.
For sure.
So, I mean, also think of the people right now in the city that are not in the city limits that would love to have that.
Well, yeah,
they would
absolutely.
love to, be a part because maybe they travel to the city through work or, so, not only are you doing it for yourself, but you're also doing it for your neighbors and, doing it for the people that, come through the community and it's important to get out and vote. regardless of what race it is,
Right.
regardless of what, whether it's a presidential, whether it's a non-presidential, it's important.
I agree.
Your voice matters.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, you go back and Americans for Prosperity. I'm sure you guys probably have some kind of a study you're doing, but it's kind of sad when you look the people that do not put their name in the hat that want to run for election. It's hard to find people now to run.
It's hard, well, yeah, the good
that's
people.
kind of
yeah, I mean, it's hard to find good candidates to put your name behind. That's for sure. I mean, it's one of the reasons as to why people want to run is important too. I mean, you don't want to run just to run.
No, and you don't want to have an agenda.
Well, I mean, you want to do it because you think you can do something better. And also, though, did you do something? Did you help? Did you maybe talk to the current person or maybe in that position to see if that you could be of help to do better?
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes people run because they don't like that person or and that's a terrible reason to run. And I mean, you also gotta look at the reasons why somebody's running. And see if it is better, and if it's not better, then sorry. I mean, again, it's about finding those candidates, and right now, I mean, we're seeing it right now on the Democrat side here locally. I mean, there's not, we don't even have a Democrat ballot because not enough people wanted to run.
Yeah.
And it's sad, and I know, just like she said, some people, I've run into some people who've been door knocking and they've said, I'm voting, Republican because I voted Republican my whole life. I'm voting Democrat because I voted Democrat my whole life. And that's great. But also, I mean, if you're wanting to vote for the Democrat candidate, you got to get Democrats to run.
Mm-hmm.
And the same way I would be arguing the same way on the Republican side. You got to get people who want to run. Maybe the Democrats think that the Republicans are doing a fine job. I don't know. I don't know their reasoning. I don't know. I can't speak for all Democrats, and I can't speak for all Republicans or all Libertarians. I can't do that. But it's important to find somebody good who can run, and it's important to find somebody that can do the job well for the taxpayers and for their constituents. And don't overlook any race. Every race is important.
Oh, absolutely. Right.
But yeah, I mean we see all kinds of stuff at the doors.
Well, I think too when you talk about putting your name in the ballot, I think too that also I don't think until you get in that office you full 100% realize what the the highs, the lows, the challenge that you'll be facing, because I think it's very different, by thinking and learning. You can Google, what does this position do? What all are they responsible for? You can find that, but it's actually the day to day and everything that goes involved in it. You're not able to do everything that you want to get done, maybe.
Well, it's also funny because a lot of people think that your vote doesn't matter. Yeah. I can tell you personally, we encountered that actually with the last cycle. We dipped our hands in a few races, and it's crazy how close. In fact, we had to do a recount, and the recount actually flipped the seat. So if you don't think that your vote matters, you're completely wrong. Especially, and that was for a bigger race than a city race. So your vote matters, and everyone, you could. I've seen many races, locally and federally where it's just a couple votes where somebody wins. So it's very important to get out and vote, and I can't stress that enough. Your vote does matter. If everybody thought that, then nobody would be voting.
Well, I think for some reason, I don't know, it seems like with elections, so you're talking about one end of the getting the candidates and getting people to run and put their name in the hat, if you will. And, I know that we've talked about that for, anybody that puts their name in the hat, stepping out and, wanting to be a servant leader there, and so that's degree of difficulty getting people to put their name in the hat. Then also the next thing is then getting people to get out and support and vote for that person.
Oh yeah, it's not just as simple as putting your name in the hat and then, okay, I'm going to see if I win. That's
Okay,
not.
I did my part.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works. You gotta work towards it, and you gotta, some people, not everybody knows everybody, so you gotta explain to people, why you think you're the best, best candidate for the position. And I think that's another reason why door to door is so important, because you get that face to face. That face-to-face value with people that that not everybody gets, and so you can ask all the questions that you need to. You can also be informed. I've had candidates that I've not met before, and I really didn't know a whole lot about, and they showed up at my door, and I asked questions, and they informed me on some stuff that was enlightening, and so I think that a lot of people, like I said, get annoyed or whatever, but some people, that's their only access to the information as well.
Right. Well, and I think too that and making sure that the candidates are accessible, and making sure that if anyone has a question, I think that's something that's very important, and making sure that they are able to talk to the community and be a part of the community.
Yeah, and that's important. Because you got to remember these. Just like Stephanie said, when she said, it's like a job interview, and it is, and the constituents are your bosses.
Yeah, if you put your name in January, and then the election's in May, that is a huge. Think of that length of time that you've been interviewing.
Yep, so you've had plenty of time to get out and talk to voters and explain to them why you're the best person for that position.
Right.
It's important, to be accessible. It's important, because essentially you're working for the constituents. You're working, that's who you're working for. And you want to make it a great place for them to live and make a living.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, it's important to be there, and, to not, be in the shadows, and, just like I said, not just put your name on the ballot and, put signs up or anything like that. You've got to talk to the people.
Mm-hmm.
You got to answer questions. The people deserve that.
Yeah. Well, I think some things that it will be interesting. I guess it would be something, and I'm sure Americans for Prosperity, I'm sure AFP, I'm sure there's some research there of why it's kind of interesting how people are. It seems like years ago you had so many people that wanted to run and so many people on the ballot, and now it's kind of a thing where you're trying to find candidates, and it's kind of interesting how, I don't know if this is
trying to find candidates, trying to find voters.
Well, right. It's like Easter eggs. Where are they? I guess the thing is I wonder if this is like history repeating itself, if we've gone through this. I'm sure a lot of times, like if you go back on on things,
I don't know. It's not easy putting your name on the ballot. You get a lot of flack regardless of whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Libertarian. If you put your name on the ballot, somebody's always got something negative to say.
Right.
So, if you're wanting to run because you feel, it's kind of sad, and, there's some people that just ruin it for everybody. And, you get people that want to run, but they don't, they've got a family, and maybe they don't want their family having to go through. And, there's multiple, I could go through a laundry list of reasons of why somebody would not want to run, but would be great for the position.
Yeah.
And it's sad that like I said, it's sad that some people can ruin it for all. But that's kind of, the world we live in, unfortunately. And so you definitely got to have that thick skin if you're going to run, because you're always going to have somebody that's got something negative to say. And I've learned that. And I've not even put my name on the ballot.
Well, I wondered too, now we've got more social media and stuff, and more, I guess we're at everybody, is a little bit more vocal, I guess, on that, or maybe just
maybe they should change it. If you don't have something nice to type, don't type it at all.
Yeah. Cowboy Bob always said, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. Now, yeah, you're right. Let's
if you
change
don't have
it.
something nice to type, don't type it at all.
There you go. Now that needs to be a T-shirt over there, okay?
But it's true. If you're not, but some people feel better when they bring people down, and it's sad.
Yeah.
They need better ways to feel
better.
Well,
no, these, and they are, okay, I think you got to just right there. They put their name in the hat. They're willing to step out, and they're willing to, serve, be servant leaders, and be a part. And right there says a lot. You know. And there's a lot of, sometimes there's rumors, things, there's false accusations, and that's can be very sad too.
It's important to do your fact checking.
Absolutely.
Yep, it's important to do that research, and like I said, that goes back to, it's helpful. Like I said, those people that are boots on the ground trying to, get your, get you to open your door just to chat with you. I know also it can be kind of scary sometimes. Hopefully they have on the right attire so you can tell that they're coming to inform you. Hopefully that's the case, but that's what we're doing right now. We're out door knocking, we're out boots on the ground, and we're trying right now. We're looking into some races. We currently are not involved in Americans for Prosperity is currently not involved in any municipal races here in Indiana, but we are looking into 2024. No, we're not overlooking the municipal races. We didn't put our hands in any races. And so we are going to, we're starting on the doors, and that's because we think it's important to be informed. And
So what are some of the races that you possibly, I guess that'll be coming down the pipe. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see as filing comes. We'll see who gets involved in all the races.
I'm not trying to name drop, but I'm saying like what, or some of the positions,
well,
I guess that's what I'm saying.
So
we don't have, nobody's put their names in yet.
Something that I think it's good for allies to know is it's a process. It's not just Americans for Prosperity is a big organization, so it's not just as simple as I want your endorsement and okay, and then tomorrow it's like we endorse you. No, we do. Speaking of fact checking, we do the research and we do what's necessary. But we're a big organization, and there's reasons why there's rhymes and reasons as to why we do what we do. And if we endorse somebody, we've done the research, and they're a policy champion. We feel that they're going to support the policies we support, and we think that they're going to be great for the constituents, great for the local, state, federal, whatever they're running for at that time. And I think that that's helpful whenever with our volunteers and with any of our people that follow us on social media or follow us on our website. We'll get asked, who are you endorsing in the candidate or in the race, which candidate, because they already know the organization, and if you know the organization, then you know that who we will most likely support, and because those aren't changing. Our policies that we support are not changing. They're ongoing, and so I think that if you, like I said, if you support the organization, I think I can make a good argument as to why you would also support the candidate we are endorsing.
Right. Well, in doing that, then they can still, they can find that out who's you're endorsing, but also then they can go on also and do their research too, which is always nice too.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
I think everybody should be informed and be accountable and know what's going on. Yeah.
Right. And we will. And we do the work. We do the grassroots part. We're out there talking to voters. We're out there, trying to get people's opinions, trying to figure out, who best fits the position for the constituents in that area. We are doing the blood, sweat, tears, all of it. That is us. Just like she said, running's not always glamorous. It's right. It's not always glamorous putting your name on the ballot. It's also not always. The work, I would argue, is not always glamorous. But you do find the people that love to go door knocking and love talking to constituents. Yeah. It is nice, and I will speak firsthand. It is nice to hear, what are people thinking. Mm-hmm. It's nice to get that feedback, on that one-to-one, and it really kind of gives you a different point of view. Because we all have our own opinions and stuff, but when you really get out there and really start doing the hard work, like I said, the hard work, then it really pays off, and I think that it's really rewarding too. It makes a difference.
Yeah, but I think it is our responsibility to find out, stay informed, stay in the know. And I think that's good to have Americans for Prosperity helping out and doing some of that research that a lot of times we don't always have time to do.
Oh yes, and there's a list of people it goes through. It's not just like oh well, they're gonna endorse because they asked them yesterday. No, sometimes I wish it was that easy, but it's not. Because we don't want to just endorse somebody just to endorse them. That wouldn't be fair.
Right.
So.
Right. So I think that's, I think those are good information and good. I mean, it's good to know that. And of course, like right now, we've got the the city election here going on, and then the next election that AFP is going to get involved in is coming in.
Yeah, we've got the 2024 presidential election primary. We will be dipping our hands in, just waiting to see who all is going to get in there. Because we're going to make that.
Do you know the exact, like, when everybody should have their name on the ballot or their
when the filing deadline?
Yeah.
I do not know. I would say.
On that, but I think Stephanie's so busy.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. And it's hard because you're not overlooking the municipal races, but at the same time, you don't want to start too late in the bigger races.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you kind of, got to juggle both.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's something definitely very interesting, and I think it's interesting, and I think it's sad that we aren't having more names come out on the ballots. I think that, for people to put their name, I'm not.
Maybe it'll be more drive for next time.
Maybe so.
Maybe this will be a big like eye opener and be like, people are like, I really need to get involved.
Yeah, right.
The time is now.
Get out and vote. Absolutely. Well, and then also, now getting out and voting and making sure, that you do that. So remember, it's going to be a Republican primary only, but no matter what, if you're a Democrat, no matter what, you can still vote. Make sure you bring your ID and
a smile.
And a smile. Cup of coffee, a smile, and you'll get a sticker afterwards, okay? Hey,
be nice to the poll workers.
Be very nice to the poll workers. That's why I want to make sure everybody stays informed so that nobody said, what? So everybody knows. So be nice to the poll workers, and we'll see if we can get in there and get this done for sure. So
yes.
All
right. Well, speaking of
sponsors,
here we go. Yes. Yeah. Thanks to our lovely sponsors: Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Americans for Prosperity, Fantastic Sam's, Fox Purlee Wealth Management, and Po Boys Barbecue.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Thank you, Americans for Prosperity. Thank you for being a great sponsor here. Thanks for
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Justin Green for Salem Mayor. Let me tell you about myself. I'm a lifelong Salem resident and a successful small business owner. I first ran for mayor in 2019. Since taking office, I have focused on improving Salem's aging infrastructure and invested over $11 million in projects, many of which are funded through state and federal grants. I will continue to work to grow Salem by attracting new jobs and residents while increasing our quality of life for our current residents. Vote for Justin Green, Mayor, Republican primary on Tuesday, May 2nd. Thank you.
Paid for by the committee to re-elect Justin Green for mayor.
Hello folks, Greg Martin at Billy Martin Store in downtown Martinsburg. Say you're in the market for new appliances, furniture, floor covering for your home or business, then Billy Martin Store is the place to go. We've got a huge display of many nice, top quality name brand merchandise in stock to select from at everyday low prices. So whether you're building or just replacing, Billy Martin Store has terrific personnel to help you all in selecting the right product, and also professional flooring installers to take care of your floor covering needs. Billy Martin Store tries each day to continue to buy USA-made products made right here in southern Indiana. As we are celebrating our 164th anniversary as the oldest family-owned business in Indiana, father to son and now daughter, Tanya, we appreciate all of the business over the many years. So why not drive on out to the country and save a lot at Billy Martin Store? Billy Martin Store is located in the heart of downtown Martinsburg, or feel free to call us, Janice, Tanya, or myself, 812-967-3997, and we'll be glad to help you.
Po Boys Barbecue. It ain't barbecue if there ain't no smoke. New owner Bill and his family welcome you to try the St. Louis style ribs, meat by the pound, or